There we are. How we doing? Y'all in the bed in the boudoir. What's going on? Hey, Sal. Baby, this Palo Santo, baby, she giving me the flux right now. You at work? Oh, I see. I see. Well, I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate you coming by, making that money. 8:30 on a Sunday evening, honey. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. This is the Lord's Day. Getting that curtain back. Yeah, I'm gonna get that curtain backdrop. Yeah. My chick is helping me with this. I'm getting a green screen. Can you hear me good? Barbara, good evening. Good evening. I don't know how I feel about this camera. This camera is very unforgiving. Hold on. And you know what, y'all? And I need a new armature for this camera. Oh, okay, y'all, give me a second. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all, believe this or not, this camera is being held on this armature by tape. I kid you not. Cause baby, ooh, ooh, and that's bright. Ooh, that's bright. All right. Ooh, bright, bright. Okay, there we go. There we go. Michael, hey. Hey. All right, there you go. Y'all can see. You can see these cards. Nene, greetings. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. I had to get you all together. Yeah, it's holding out for its life, honey. It's Sunday. I wanted to get you all together so that you could start this work week um in a little better frame of mind. So hold on. These two cards jumped out. Let's see what they I don't know who this message is for, but here we go. All right. Uh Here we go, y'all. Here we go. This card right here. This card right here says, because you never asked for much doesn't mean you deserved so little. And then this card says, your potential is greater than the current circumstances. All right. T. Jones, greetings. Y'all, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. All of that stuff. I'm so happy to see everybody. And again, baby, this camera's unforgiving, so it is what it is, right? I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you today, and believe it or not, I'm going to be able to drop the link. I hooked up my Bluetooth AirPods or my earpieces to be able to hear. So we might be able to hear you all today. All right. I wanted to talk to y'all tonight about loyalty. All right. You all ever noticed how sometimes that the very thing that makes you real, your loyalty, your ride or die energy, ends up being the thing that keeps you stuck? Y'all ever notice that? Loyalty is a beautiful thing when it's balanced, but when it's blind, it becomes bondage. Um, true loyalty, true loyalty, true loyalty should empower you. It should never enslave you. If being loyal to a person, a situation, if being loyal costs you your peace, if it costs you your growth or your self-respect, that's not loyal anymore. That's not loyalty. That is controlled, disguised as commitment. You gotta clock that. You gotta be careful when you definitely gotta clock that shit. And tonight I wanted to talk about how how we let loyalty become a leash, and what we should do, what we could do to prevent that. And when I was trying to find a tarot tie-in, here we go. All right. Scary card coming up, y'all. Scary card coming up, y'all. There we go. The devil. The devil. Yep. Before we even get into everyday stuff, let me start with the card. This card, the devil card, it says it all. On the surface, on the surface, this the devil card looks very dark. You see two people chained up beneath the figure with the horns. And it's heavy, right? But I want you to look closer at those chains. I want you to take a closer look at those chains. They're loose, meaning these people right here, they could have walked free this whole time. They just forgot that they had a choice. And more times than not, a lot of situations that happen, we forget that we have a choice. This card right here, the devil doesn't represent evil. It represents bondage by choices, being loyal to our limitations, being loyal to our attachments, being loyal to our struggles, being loyal to our pain. It's it's when fear dresses up like love, and comfort disguises itself as a commitment. When I look at the devil card, when I see this card, um the question comes to me, what are we loyal to that is quietly choking our spirit? Because half the time the leash wasn't even handed to you. It wasn't handed to you. You tied it yourself. Now let's talk about where this energy shows up, and how to cut those cords. All right. And it comes up in relationships. The devil in disguise. We stayed loyal to relationships that stopped feeding our spirit a long time ago, and we called it love. But really, it's fear of being alone. And we get used to being the one who understands. We get used to being the one who forgives. We get used to being the one that holds everything together, until the only one that is bleeding out is us. And that is emotional dependency, when our nervous system equates chaos with connection. We've been trained to think that pain means passion. We got to set up these boundaries. Boundaries in love say, a boundary in love says, I can love you. I can love you deeply without abandoning myself. And that's not disloyal. That's divine protection. Real love expands. Real love expands you. It doesn't shrink you. And you all got to remember that love ain't a cage. If love hurts more than it lifts, that's not loyalty. That's a leash. Let me check these comments. Let me see how we're doing. Mr. Stevens says, some folks aren't mature enough to appreciate. Yep. Miss Barbara said, absolutely. Miss Yvette, I'll give it up for our moderator. Miss Yvette is up in here. Oh, and Miss Autumn is up in here. Okay. All right, we're gonna move right along. We're gonna move right along. We're gonna use that same photograph because I couldn't find a. It's about relationships, but now we're moving into friendships. All right, so here we go. So this one right here. Come here, come on. All right, We're going to pretend that's friendships, all right? You know, we confuse loyalty with history. We hold on to friends out of guilt, out of nostalgia or habit, even when the energy is unbalanced. You know, you're always the one that's pouring. They're always the ones that are sipping from what you're pouring. And that's not loyalty, baby. That's energetic debt. The card that best reflect that situation was the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles shows balance, give and take, fairness. We stick around friendships that do not feed our souls because that's people pleasing. That's a trauma response from and we do this thing. It's people pleasing. When our self-worth depends on being needed or approved of. We think keeping the peace will keep the friendship, but all it does is keep you silent. That's all it does. It keeps you silent. Friendships should be mutual. You teach people how to love you by showing them where access ends and respect begins. Reciprocity is the definition by day one. And for that nostalgia shit, let me say this. Old friends don't get a lifetime pass. I'm sorry. Loyalty is earned. It's not owned. Y'all feeling me on that? Miss Autumn said yes. All right. All right, y'all. This right here, this section right here, this is what I really wanted to to come to you with, because it's Sunday. It's Sunday. Tomorrow we all going to go back to our jobs. Does that scene look familiar? Now they may not be there all at one time, but you get to your desk and the moment you log on, you got an email here, that phone starts ringing there. Before that coffee even sits good, you being pulled from one section, from one place to another. Everybody needs a little bit from you. We stay loyal to jobs that drain us. We stay loyal to jobs that overwork us. We overperform and undercharge because we think our dedication will get us noticed. But loyalty to a job that doesn't honor your worth, that's not commitment. It's conditioning. I want to tell you all a story. So, so I'm a hairdresser, but I also work at a stadium. And over there I bartend and I wait tables, whatever it takes. We had a young man who was he was from out of town. And me and him got along. We got along okay. But my managers, y'all, baby. They would say, "Girl, he did this. Oh, he said that." And I'm like, "Are you serious? Because I don't get that energy. I don't get that energy." It took a minute. It took a minute. And wait a minute. And before I go on, let me say this. In all fairness, let me say this. I do want to say this, that he had some problems. Y'all, I met his mother. Baby. That I'm gonna say this. There are some people that should never have kids, and she was definitely one of them. And with that being said, this young man definitely deserved better, but it is what it is. So y'all, my managers, they are bending over backwards to see if they could work with this young man. So many headaches. So many headaches. Well, He ups and he leaves, but he stays in the system. He stays in the company. He goes back to where he came from. Y'all know something? We found out through the grapevine that as problematic as that young man was, they made him a supervisor. They made him a supervisor. I just want that to sit. I want that to sit. He was a natural pain in the ass to these managers that poured in blood, sweat, and tears into this boy, and then he ups and leaves. And this company said, you know what, we're gonna make you a supervisor. Somebody in the chat, please make that make sense to me. Now I don't want manager. I don't want that shit. I don't want manager. But like I said, ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? Again, loyalty to a job that doesn't honor you, loyalty to a job that isn't worth your commitment, that's conditioning. That is conditioning. Right here, like I said, we got the let me get it right here. No. I'm sorry, that's not it. There it is. There it is. The Eight of Pentacles. That's you all. That's you all. Look at that. Your craftsmanship, your dedication, wanting to make sure that everything is perfect. But this card right here, the Eight of Pentacles, it warns us against overworking for approval. This is what is called when people are just that gung-ho about their job, baby, that's called identity fusion. It's when your sense of self gets tangled. It gets tangled up in your role or in your title. And you start believing your value equates your productivity. Baby, that's some bullshit right there. And I'm not going to have my terabytes go into Monday with that bullshit. Oh, we're going to dismantle that right the fuck now. All right? Let me tell you what boundaries at your job look like. Boundaries at your job look like rest. They look like balance. Remembering that your no is still professional. You were not hired to be a martyr. You were hired to bring your skill set, not your soul on a leash. I tell people that your job is what you do. It's not who you are. You know, clock in for the money, not for the guilt. Y'all feel me on that? Miss Autumn says, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, Miss Martha. Oh, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all a story about Miss Martha. We're gonna get to that. The train. Listen, just stay on the train. We're gonna get to that. All right. Mrs. Stevens says, yes, ma'am. Autumn says, yes. Yes. We're gonna come to a real sticky one right now, y'all. We're gonna talk about family. That's right. You see that fracture? Look at everybody trying to keep up appearances. Let me tell you something. In Latino culture, family is everything. And we in particular, we get caught up in that bullshit. We stay loyal to family systems that drain us emotionally and spiritually. We confuse silence with respect. We confuse guilt with love. You know, we're told, you know, that's your mama, you know, or that's still your brother, as if that means that you cannot draw a line. This is what is called enmeshment. When family ties blur the line between love and control, it teaches us to confuse obedience with honor. With that situation, we're doing the 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. Look at all that. The 10 of Pentacles. This card shows family, legacy, security, loyalty to roots. Loyalty to our roots is natural, but it can trap you if it goes unchecked. You know, we have to start normalizing. We have to start normalizing saying, I love you, but I won't carry what is not mine. I love you, but you're not going to talk to me like that. Oh, we're not doing that. No, no. I was always, but that's your blood. That's your blood. You know what? As I got older, and y'all, let me tell you something. I like having the gray hair because it reminds me that I've lived through something to get to where the fuck I'm at right now. As long as the mug is holding up, I don't give a shit about the gray hair. Shit, I'll put a wig on in a minute. But like I was saying, people were saying, oh, that's your blood, that's your blood, that's your blood. As if to say that, blood don't cancel boundaries. My tarot bites, respect yourself first, always. Respect yourself first, always. Let me check my chat. I want to make sure that I'm hitting you all. Oh, Michael said preach. Right? I can't stand when people say that. That's your mama. That's that person. Yep. Yep. My mother, she's talking to my cousin who tried to put me in jail, and I got in an argument with my mother. She said, wait, she says she says you can't do anything about that. Yeah. Delarice did. Oh, we end up with the Reverend Delarice, honey. She turned out Harlem Nights. I'm gonna say that. But we're gonna go on. We're gonna go on because the one person that we fail to be loyal to is ourselves. We abandon ourselves. I'll give you this picture right here. Yep. Where's she walking away from? She walking on those tracks, going nowhere. Sometimes that loyalty leash, is internal. We stay loyal to our old self, the version of us that we played, small in order to feel safe. We dim our light to make other people comfortable. And that's the fear of change. That's our subconscious clinging to the things that are familiar, even when it hurts us. Our mind keeps loyalty to the pain because it fears, peace might make us unrecognizable. Did you hear what I said? We hold on to the pain because we don't know what peace will look like. And if we are exposed to that peace, we don't know how to be. We got to set boundaries with our own habits. We got to set boundaries with our patterns. We got to rest when we need to. We got to stop negotiating with our evolution. Our healing might intimidate some people, but that's okay. That's okay. You're not intimidating. They are intimidated. That's a big difference. I'm going to be responsible for how I show up in the world. I'm not going to be responsible for your insecurities. Evolution requires, elevation. And you're gonna have to leave. We're gonna have to leave some of the shit that we hold on to. We gotta leave some of that shit behind. I said this to you one time before. One of the hardest people you are ever gonna have to say goodbye to is your old self. That one has to die in order for you to come through. Right here for that one, we got the star. Look at her. She represents release, renewal, the divine freedom. The star reminds us that our shine was never lost. It was only waiting for us to give permission to shine. The star represents renewal. It represents hope. It represents alignment. It represents loyalty to our highest self. Is it? There are 7 chakras. This right here is the subconscious. This is the consciousness. And these are the 5 senses, the streams of the 5 senses. So, y'all, don't stay loyal to your old self. Your evolution, your glow up requires room to breathe. So, I wanted to talk to y'all about that loyalty shit. Loyalty is beautiful. I did not want you all to get stuck on that shit. Loyalty without boundaries, that's not love. It's loyalty without boundaries is self-abandonment in disguise. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourselves. Let me see what the chat has to say. Yeah? All right, let's see if this works. Come on and hit me up, babies. Let's see what happens. Anybody? Anybody hit? Did the link work? Let's see. Presenter invite. Mr. Stevens, here we go.
Hi, Diva.
I can hear you.
Really, really good message. Really good message.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was saying, I did have a situation and where a relative tried to get me to go to jail, and my mom's talking to that relative. And the thing is that we got into an argument about it like some months ago, and she's like, "Oh, you can't do nothing about that. I'm an aunt first, and I'm an aunt first." Right, I remind you, my relative has talked trash about my mother too. This woman, I'm not going to say you, but you picture what type of woman she is. But it's just like, it's like if she's two-faced. Let's just say that, and she'll spin things to her narrative, but it's just like, I just learned to just let it go. I just learned to let it go because I realized that everybody has a path, and it's time for me to kind of emotionally separate from my mom, even though I live with her, and realize that she has her own way and she's gonna die on that hill. So I
And
can't
that and
drive
that's
my.
and that's hard, Michael. That's hard when you live. I mean, that's virtually sleeping with the enemy. You know,
Yes.
you know,
Mm.
and I mean, and I'm sorry, baby. I just gotta say it the way, the way it comes through. You know what I mean? I just gotta say it the way it comes through. Let me see if I can get. I got Miss Autumn backstage. Let me see if I can get her up. Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay.
We're
Okay.
gonna try this. We're gonna try this. Okay, because hold on. I want this conversation to go. Okay, give me a second. Oh my God. Look, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Okay, here we are, people. Autumn, it is so wonderful to see your face finally, baby. Mwah, 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 mwah. Baby, we got you up. What you got to say? What say you, baby? What say you about all this?
Uh, are we okay? Let me go back. I don't want to hold up too
No,
long.
no, 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 no. Wait a minute, sweetheart. We got time. We got time.
Okay, all right. Are we on boundaries? What we on?
What do you
What we
want? Okay, we were talking about Michael. Well, and we can take this however it goes. We're gonna be this. We're gonna be organic about this. And like I
Okay,
was saying, Michael. Like, okay, so here's the situation. We've got somebody that is living under the same roof
okay,
that is not loyal to their child. It happens to be a mother son, and
yeah,
yet that those dynamics, that's my mother, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is that when we are not protected, I've said this before. as children as children, the trauma that we incur as children is not our fault, but at a certain time, our healing is our responsibility. Okay. But
okay,
now, when that abandonment comes from the person that brought you into this world, that gave you life, that's a new type of pain. That's a
yes,
new type, that's a new type of disappointment.
yeah,
And let me say that, and let me say this though, and let me say this to you, Michael. As raw as I brought that down, because I just gotta call it the way I see it. I'm gonna say this though, Michael. This is the first time we've actually spoken face to face in a sense.
Mhm.
The thing is that you have always exemplified a light. You've always been encouraging. You have always had some type of joyfulness. And I only say that to say this, Michael. The situation that that you find yourself right now, baby, it didn't win. It didn't win. So if no one gave you your props, no one gave you your flowers, baby, clap for your damn self. Because you
Mhm,
still
yeah.
whole. You still whole. You may be battered, but you still whole. You know, Miss Autumn, what you got, honey? You want to say something about the boundaries?
okay. I want to go to Michael on what you said because I can relate just a tad bit. What I would like to say is this. Um, I did have I did come from a good background. My parents were they worked hard and everything. When it came to my mother, um, still to this day, I'm still trying to figure out what is the issue that she has with me. From a child to an adult, it's always been something. I went to prison and um she has this thing of I embarrassed her. I
Mm.
did I was very well. I did everything like as a kid, a young person to please my mom. It wasn't I just couldn't do enough.
Mm.
And so when I went to prison at 40 years old. I'm almost 60 now. And all of that time I tried to, mommy, I'm sorry. And I meant it. I meant it. I said, Mommy, I'm sorry. I know I disappointed you. I dropped out of college. Actually, I was supposed to be a veterinarian, but God chose other paths for me. But I said, Mommy, I'm sorry. I know you invested all this time, blah, blah, blah. But my mom still is so nasty to me. And I mean, it hurts me to the core of my soul. And I'm closing my eyes to keep from watering up
That's
because
okay, baby.
just recently I was going through a food thing, and like where I didn't have any food. And I asked my mom, I said, Mommy, can I get $20? Just so I can go to the market and get something to eat. So I don't have $20. I got $15. I said, okay, baby. She said my daughter would give me the five. I said, all right. Fast forward, she calls me, I'm on my way, but we have to talk. I said, okay. I go outside, get in the car, and she says to me, um, maybe you need to uh sell my house because I
Oh,
can't afford it no more. If you follow me, all this is over $15. And I have to November 1st to get rid of all my fucking cats. I said, what? What is you talking about? To myself, I never verbally said this to her. All this was in my head.
pause, pause,
I,
pause, pause. So, Autumn, let me ask you something. Why did you not say anything? I know why. I want to hear you say it. Why did you keep that to yourself?
because you know what? Because I felt like I was really getting ready to be disrespectful. And I wanted to not go there with her. And all of the years, if it wasn't her coming at my man, if it wasn't at holiday dinners, she embarrassing me in front of all of my family, friends, whatever. It's like, when does this stop? So the $15 thing about some food, that was it for me. Out of all the years of my life, you drug me for no reason. No reason. I don't ask my mother for nothing. From being in an abusive marriage to going through, certain things, even when I was in prison. I called home next. My dad said, I'm gonna send you some money, get you a coat and some boots. I said, because I was in West Virginia. She said, he ain't sending you shit. Get a job.
Wow.
I'm in prison,
Wow.
mommy. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, mom, I get it. I cried like a baby. And I said, this time, I'm not doing that no more. I cried about the little $15 I did. I was hurt. And because I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm hungry. And you just said, F me. You know what I mean? So when it comes to these parents, I just don't get it. My kids done drugged me from here to West Hell. Do you hear me? But I have never, ever, never turned my back on them when I had it, because it was a time where I had it. I made sure my kids was good because I promised them I would never leave you in a situation if I could help you. I
Mama,
just
that
don't
goes from that.
understand.
And Mama, that is when we know better, we do better. When we know better, we do better. I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to give too much of my shit out here on the internet, but so again, I come from a Latina household, and let me say this: to the day that my grandmother died, the day my grandmother died, I swear I wanted to jump in that grave with her. Baby, let me tell you something about Amparo Magallanes. Let me tell you something about Amparo Magallanes. That was my grandma's name. She lost her husband, who was working at United States Steel. She lost her husband to cancer. She didn't want to come to America. She had two kids, my mother and my uncle. She took care of them as well as her husband that was dying, and that was way back in the day. To the day that she died, she really never understood. She could never speak English, but she got through. Whether it was watching kids, whether it was washing people's clothes, whether it was making plates, whatever it was. And for me, the grandchild, she was hard. She was hard on my uncle. She was hard on my mother. Baby, I'm telling you right now, if I went to my grandma and said, Ma, I'm going to be a stripper. She would pull out her knitting needles and start knitting me a G-string. ¿Y sabes por qué? Porque eres latina, vas a ser un buena stripper. For me, the doors were open. But for my mother and my uncle, oh, they had to pay particular hell, especially my mother. And when I started doing my little spiritual studies, when I started doing my little psychology and shit like that, I said we would talk about it. And I was like, Mommy, I want to tell you something that you may not want to hear, but here it is. The reason why Grandma did or said and acted the way that she did was because at the end of the day, Grandma was jealous. Grandma was jealous.
I heard that. And someone told me that. I just didn't want to believe it. I heard that so many
Miss
times.
Autumn, let me ask you something. But wait a minute, baby. Wait a minute, Mama. Why would you not receive that?
I receive it now. I just at that time, I because it just didn't make sense to me.
Why?
That didn't make sense.
Bring it home. Bring it home, Mommy. Why?
As your child, why would you be jealous of your child? Like I'm supposed to be a product of you. Why would you be jealous of me?
Yeah. Wow.
I just don't understand. And that's why I couldn't grasp that because I just couldn't really get a fully understanding of it.
And wait a minute, Autumn. Let me say this to you, baby. Let me say this to you, sweetheart. You only know me through this and stuff like that. And girl, this was the first time we've ever actually spoken. You're going to get on Beyonce's internet and tell your story. And there was no shame in it. I was in prison at 40. You don't think, Mommy, you don't think that sovereignty like that, you don't think that autonomy over your story like that, you don't think that causes people to be jealous? Well, how the fuck can she say that? Because your mom was from a time where that shit was like a scarlet letter. Baby,
Yes.
your past is what brought you here.
Yes.
All right? Your past is what brought you here. I don't deny shit that I've ever done, but I'm not going to go back and embrace it either.
That's right.
I learned, I built. I learned and I built.
Yes.
And the thing is that for both Michael and you, my prayer is that you all listen. These women that gave birth to us, it's not our jobs to change them.
No.
It's not our jobs to change them. It is our jobs to recognize who we are. Recognize who we are. Bless the path that we've come through. And just modulate around the shit about them. But again, we do need boundaries. We do need boundaries.
Yes,
and sweetheart, and like I said, baby, this gray hair, no, it's not flattering at the moment. But baby, when it all comes in, I'm telling you, honey, I'm gonna have me a big old come fuck me Tina Turner shag. It's gonna look fabulous, but it is what it is right now. But I'm gonna tell you this. I just recently got out of matching energy. She don't match energy no more. She don't have to. Right. She don't have to. I'm not going to advise anybody to, but I will say this. A boundary is your protection. A boundary is your shield of saying, oh, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And if I've got to remove myself, baby, I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of what I'm going to tell you. I'm not proud of what I'm going to tell you. But there was a moment that I did not speak to my mother for 5 years.
Ooh.
And now me and Mom, we are the best of friends. And I'm going to try not to cry on this internet. I would do anything to get those 5 years back. I would do anything to get those 5 years back. Okay? She's still with me now. She's still with me now. And we got it together. But I'm not going to get those 5 years back.
I understand.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Autumn, you got to protect yourself first, because you got a daughter. You got kids, baby. You got kids. You've got kids. They need their mother. They need their mother. And sweetheart, and you want to know something? You going to take those slings, but not with the grief of a child, but the grace of a woman. You owning your mistakes and you walking in your truth. You got books inside of you, baby. You've got books inside of you. And as an artist, I need you to remember something, though, darling, that these situations, they are not here to hurt you. They are here to inspire you. Girl, put them into words and make them so that people can relate, so that you could be a New York New York best-selling author, so you could buy me my booty and my brand new computer, okay?
I told you that's on the list, baby. It's on the list. It's on the list, baby.
All right, my love. My love, you good, though? You good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Michael, you good?
Michael.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But I wanted to say something really quick.
Yeah.
And when you said something about the jealousy, growing up, my parents used to fight. They used to fight, like, fight each other.
Yeah.
And my father, he had like different babies by different women. And I think in a weird way, my mom's mad at me because I'm not like my father, because I know in a lot of times she'll say, "Oh, you just like your father." Or like when I recently had some issues, "Oh, your father had an issue with threatening people." And it just like, it gets me mad. And it's just like, and I just, she has that type of personality where, yeah,
Michael,
yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Because right now, sweetheart, I can tell you what this is. You want to know why she's so mad? You
Why?
want to know why she's so mad? Because you remind her of her mistake. This ain't got shit to do with you, baby. This got everything to do with her. So if I'm like, if anyone can say that I'm lying or got a difference of opinion, the chat is open. It's not about you, Michael. It's not about you, baby. Every time she looks at you, she's reminded of the shit that she incurred voluntarily.
Ooh.
I agree with that. I agree with that, baby. Woo. Yes, Lord.
Michael,
Wow.
and I had to cut you off, baby. As I was saying that, I got chills up and down my body. I know that I had confirmation. The confirmation was telling me to say that. You know what I'm saying? Michael, you're beautiful, Michael. You got a beautiful energy, Michael. You got a beautiful energy.
Yes,
Baby. The fact that you are happy, how dare you be happy and you look like the man that I allowed to walk all over me? How dare you be happy? How dare you be happy when you look like the man that I brought a child to and I had to incur all this other disrespect? How dare you be happy? How dare you? You leave that with her.
Yes, sir. Please do. Please do.
You leave that with mama. That's not your portion. Michael. Michael.
Yeah.
Say it. That's not my portion.
That's not my portion.
What is
That's
your
not
portion?
my portion.
What is?
Me.
What is your portion? What?
Me.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Michael, on a day-to-day, on a moment-to-moment basis, in order for us to break these generational curses, we must remind ourselves that generational curses don't come with that. It comes with generational courage. It comes with generational resiliency. And the fact that you are still here, baby, in spite of all that, means that you've got purpose. And while you've got purpose, Michael, your assignment is your alignment.
Yeah.
You do not take, and that's hard because that's your mother. That's hard because that's your mother. You know what I'm saying? But that's a title. That's a title. And the thing is that mothers, fathers, priests, presidents, that at the end of the day, they are human beings with the same failings and the same mistakes that human beings make. And you got to remember that. As a child, you were dependent on that. But as you are grown and you've got sovereignty and you know what you can and cannot do, you gotta bring that in.
Yeah. Okay.
You
All
gotta you
right.
got on a moment-to-moment basis. That's not my portion. My assignment is me. My
Yeah.
assignment is me.
Yeah. 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 Well, I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm tired, but thank you
Good
so much
night,
for
Michael.
thank you.
Wait,
Good
y'all.
night.
Can we give Michael a big round of applause? It's the first time
Yes.
he did not fall asleep during
Good
lessons.
night,
Okay,
Michael.
okay, all right, all
All
right,
right. Take
all
care.
right.
Take care.
Good
Bye.
night,
Uh,
baby. Thank you,
Good
thank
night.
you.
Good
All
night.
right,
Good night.
and Miss
Bye.
Autumn, you good too? You
Yes, I'm
good?
good, baby. I'm good.
All right, baby. We're gonna do a prayer to bless our workflow, okay? Before we go, all right. So
Okay. I'm gonna jump back
I
in the chat. I'm gonna jump
there
back
you
in the
go.
chat.
All right, baby. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Look at Miss Yvette. Oh, Miss Ronnie's fancy now, right? Let me tell you. So Michael came on yesterday and I didn't have a speaker. Baby, Miss Martha was on duty. Baby, Miss Martha was on duty. She came by. Girl, let me tell you something. Miss Martha brought me speakers. She brought me subwoofers. She brought me cables. She brought me a microphone. She brought me a goddamn sound engineer. The only thing she didn't bring me was a recording contract. Honey, it's all in the front room, honey. Okay. She got it all. Now I'm good, but we're gonna have to play with this, okay? Miss Martha got it all. Okay, but I want to thank you. Let me see what we got. We got Nene, that was deep. That was deep. That was deep. All right. All right. So let me finish this up for you, okay? So let me give this, unless somebody else wants to come in, come on in, say what you got to say. But if not, I'm going to keep moving on, all right? So let me say this. Loyalty should never be a lesson. Loyalty should never be a lesson. Loyalty is a beautiful thing, but only when it flows both ways. Only when it flows both ways. When your loyalty starts costing you your peace, your power, your purpose, that's not love anymore. That's not love anymore. That's bondage. That's bondage. Baby, we were never built to live chained to anything less than the truth. Let me say that again. We were never built to live chained to anything less than the truth. That that devil card, it ain't about some horn figured coming to get you. It's about the moments you hand over your freedom out of fear. Ooh, okay, speak, spirit. The devil card ain't about something that's going to get you. It's about the moments that you hand over your freedom out of fear. Come on, Ronnie. It's when you stay because you're comfortable. When you give because you feel guilty. When you love because you're afraid to lose. That's what that card is. But at the end of the day, universal mind is whispering, you can be loyal without being limited. Every boundary we set says, I'm choosing peace over performance. I'm choosing growth over guilt. I'm choosing me. And that's not betrayal, that's balance. Because at the end of the day, universal mind, God, whatever you want to name it, never asks us to shrink to prove our loyalty. That divine force asks us to live in truth, to walk in our freedom, and to honor the divine that's within all of us. So if you need a sign tonight, that job, that friendship, that relationship, that old version of you, If it's pulling you down more than it's lifting you up, once again, baby, that's not loyalty, that's a leash. Real loyalty ain't about how long you stayed. It's about how true you stayed to yourself. This was deep, y'all. So, it's Sunday night, and we're gonna bless this this 5-day work cycle. Before we do anything, I want to thank Autumn and I want to thank Michael for being brave and coming on this internet and sharing this story. I want to thank my Moddies, Martha and Yvette. These women are working, and it's I try to get here a little earlier to make sure that they weren't being inconvenienced. Y'all, can you give some hearts in the chat for these people? 'Cause without it, this channel don't do shit. They don't do shit. All right. And then with that, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if you're ready. And we're going to do a prayer to bless our flow. All right. Thank you, Nay. All right. All right. Y'all take a deep breath. Center yourselves. Here we go. Okay. We are gathered, ready to step into a new work cycle. We honor our highest good. We remain loyal to our growth, our purpose, our peace. Our boundaries are sacred, guiding us, protecting us, and keeping us strong. We release what no longer serves us. We attract only that aligns with our truth and our path. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. That's all I got, babies. That's all I got. I'm learning. I'm learning. This new little thing is cool. So with that being said, y'all, yes, and again, thank you, Autumn. Thank you, Michael, for sharing. And everybody that's Nene, thank you for stopping by. And with all that being said, you all stay blessed. I can't go live every day. But when I do, it'll be like this, okay? So with all that being said, y'all stay in alignment, stay in assignment. Your assignment is your elevation, all right? Miss Martha, Miss Yvette, thank you, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And y'all have an amazing evening, okay?